Previously on Samurai Jack. The former assassin Ashi travels across the land to find her mentor, who has gone missing. Along the way, she learns of all the adventures of the samurai from the numerous people he has saved. As she grows to appreciate these stories and the reality they represent, she scrapes away her black outfit made entirely of ash and dons a new outfit made of leaves, completing her transformation. She eventually finds Jack in a graveyard, being told to commit seppuku by what has since been named the Omen. Ashi reminds Jack of all the good he has done, snapping him out of his state and defeating the Omen. Jack then announces that the time has come for him to find his sword. We begin 98 in the past, as Samurai Jack is searching for a time portal. He is followed by 3 small purple lambs, who Jack soon discovers to be the guardian of this portal. They show him the way to the rift, after which Jack immediately jumps into the vortex, only to be grabbed by a long, black hand, which yanks him back into the future. Aku has followed Jack to the time portal, and has made it just in time to stop his enemy. Jack tries to jump in again, only to be blown away by Aku's laser eyes, destroying the portal.
Oh, fun fact!
He chortles.
That was the last remaining time portal in existence!
Jack writhes in pure rage, knowing that he has failed his quest, while Aku mocks him. The samurai tries to attack him, but Aku knows all too well to avoid Jack while he wields his magic sword. Instead, he leaves, as 3 large purple bulls appear seemingly out of nowhere to attack the samurai. Jack disposes of them easily, only to be horrified soon after. The bulls shrink and revert to the form of the 3 lambs from before. Jack, blinded by his rage, has slain 3 innocent animals, tainted by Aku's evil. Jack loses his grip on his sword, shocked from this revelation, and as a nearby structure nearly collapses on him, the blade falls into the crater, left by the destroyed time portal. This was the moment Jack lost his sword. Back in the present, Jack and Ashi are riding a giant bird back to the very same crater, hoping the sword is still down below. But as they search the bottom, all they find are the bones of one of the poor lambs, much to Jack's sorrow. It is then that the samurai realizes he did not lose the sword. The sword left him. The 2 return to the surface, where they bid farewell to their admittedly adorable steed, and Jack begins to meditate in an effort to find his sword through a spiritual journey. While Jack meditates, Ashi watches over the horizon, noticing a plume of dust rising from afar. It doesn't take long for her to realize that a massive army is making its way towards the mountain, no doubt here to destroy Jack. Ashi's suspicions are confirmed upon confronting the somewhat thick-headed soldiers, and she begins to mercilessly fight them off, going so far as to plow through their forces and push them back down the mountain, like an oncoming train hitting a car. The battle is bloody and brutal, showing that even with her newfound allegiance to the samurai, Ashi has not lost her edge. By comparison, Jack's journey is more calming. Jack's spirit is taken to many interesting places before coming to rest at a small house in the middle of a river. An even smaller monk greets him, asking the samurai if he is lost. Jack says he is, to which the monk responds by inviting him to make some tea. Back on the battlefield, Ashi has dealt with the army, only to spot one dark figure briefly dash across the mountaintop. Someone has slipped by during the chaos. Ashi quickly calls back the giant bird, who quickly carries her up the mountain just in time to stop an arrow from piercing Jack's back. More arrows fly toward her, only to be stopped by a stone slab she uses as a shield. It is then that the assailant reveals themselves, or rather, herself. It is the High Priestess, Ashi's mother. The woman once more berates her daughter, blaming Ashi's lack of focus for her failure as an assassin. She offers one final chance for her daughter to kill Jack, but Ashi refuses, knowing the truth. She stands her ground against her mother, using the horns of one of the lambs' skulls as a makeshift dagger in response to her mother's genuine blade. The battle is fierce, as the High Priestess blames Ashi for the death of her sisters. Ashi retaliates by saying that the High Priestess already killed them, filling their heads with lies and physically torturing them to the point of feeling no pain. At one point, the High Priestess gains the upper hand, swiftly moving to kill Jack with her bare hands, having lost her blade in the battle. But Ashi, ever quick thinking, throws one of her mother's own arrows at her, piercing her abdomen. The High Priestess falls off the mountain, while Ashi collapses from exhaustion. Back on the spiritual plane, the monk comments that Jack's tea is terrible. Jack is confused, and the monk explains that he lacks a crucial ingredient: balance. Jack explains that he only wants to find his sword and asks the monk if he knows the way. The monk explains that he does not, and that the knowledge he seeks must be earned. Jack's confusion brings back an enraged inner Jack, who threatens the monk and tries to convince Jack to kill him. And, if I may briefly pause here real quick, it was at this point in writing this post where I realized something interesting. Inner Jack may not be a hallucination after all, so to speak, but rather a cameo from another character from the earlier seasons. Mad Jack. Mad Jack was one of Aku's many responses to Jack's ruthlessness, as he once used one of the samurai shoes and a wanted poster to make an evil samurai Jack because magic! While not an original concept, the ending was quite interesting, as this was the episode where Jack learned to balance his emotions, keeping his anger in check, and therefore imprisoning Mad Jack in his own body. Now, 50 years later, Jack has lost that balance and allowed Mad Jack to blind him. As Jack comes to this conclusion, he once more learns to balance his emotions, much to Mad Jack's dismay. As the samurai balances himself, the monk states that his guest is now ready. Jack is transported to a realm where 3 gods, Odin, Ra, and Vishnu, restore him to his prime. Gone is the haggard, bearded man. In his place stands the samurai we all remember, clad once more in pure white robes and wielding the long-lost magic sword. Now, Samurai Jack has truly returned. Once Jack is transported to the mortal realm, he finds Ashi unconscious in the midst of destruction. He fears for the worst, only to be relieved that his new friend is still alive. Ashi barely recognizes him without the beard and disheveled hair, but marvels at his newfound luster. She asks what happens now. to which Jack says one single word: a coup. Once more, this season delivers an amazing episode with an interesting story. While I personally feel that the payoff was a tad rushed, I did enjoy it nonetheless, as it gave us the end of Mad Jack's constant interference and the true triumphant return of Samurai Jack. Also, the inevitable confrontation between Ashi and her mother was gratifying to watch, as once more Ashi's trials parallels Jack's in an odd way. Both have struggled against their inner demons and erroneous pasts, and this episode sees both of them overcome their obstacles and become better people, with one returning to their prime and the other turning from an antagonist to a hero. Plus, seeing Ashi mow down an entire army of numbskulled warriors with ease was quite a spectacle, and I loved how the writers intentionally interrupted her scenes with scenes of Jack slowly and silently making tea in order to show the contrasts between the two battles. So, all in all, this was another wonderful episode that left me wanting more. It is a shame that Season 5 consists of only 10 episodes, and this is the 7th one, so we're pretty much almost at the end. But, if all of these episodes entertain me to the point of having fangasms, which, believe me, I've had plenty in the past, this will be a glorious send-off for Samurai Jack. But, in the meantime, never stop rambling. This has been Rambles and Mumbles of a Nerd, and I thank you very much for watching. Hey guys, this is RaMoaN, aka Rambles and Mumbles of a Nerd, and I want to thank you again for watching this episode. If you like my content, why not leave a like, maybe a comment, or heck, maybe even subscribe for more nerdy content. And if you want to see more of my work, feel free to go to the Rambles and Mumbles of a Nerd Tumblr page. There you'll find all sorts of rambles and mumbles that I've made prior to the YouTube page, and some of these posts may even get their own YouTube video someday. Normally I write the Tumblr posts first, so if you want to see content before my YouTube channel gets it, feel free to follow my Tumblr page. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you again for watching this episode, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Now I must take a break because there's a kitty here. There's a kitty here who wants my attention. Hello, kitty. Hello, kitty. You come in during my recording session. You came in. I'm busy, kitty. I can't deal with you right now. Hi. Hi, kitty. Kitty, kitty. This is what I get for constantly forgetting to close my door.